everyone. It's a pleasure for me to be here with you today. My name is Petronela Goel, and I am leading the education industry teams across Central and Eastern Europe. Now, our mission is to support education institutions on their journey of digital transformation. And our aim is to empower every student on the planet to achieve more and to enable the teachers to use affordable and easy to use technology, with the result that we prepare our kids for the world of tomorrow at the time they graduate. As you heard from other presenters, artificial intelligence is present everywhere. We are surrounded by the technology, starting from automatic parking systems, smart sensors, or any kind of personal assistance. Now, there is a spectrum of applications of AI in education as well. This goes from virtual assistants that support students and teachers through the new tools for assessment and evaluation, and finally, adaptive learning systems that personalize the learning experience for each and every student. But don't you think that there is a race between technology and education? Is our educational system really ready to prepare our kids for the world of tomorrow, for that what will be developed tomorrow? We at Microsoft believe that students of today will be the change makers of tomorrow. So empowering them with the right tools and opportunities to learn new skills and be future leaders is core to our mission. Sberbank is one of our most important business partners in Russia. During my recent visit in Russia, I was really impressed to see how Sberbank is cooperating with some of our Russian universities. We only can prepare our kids for the real life when we involve them into it already during their studies. And working on projects with customers like Sberbank is showing them the reality and is enabling them with skills they will need in their future working life. Now, the transformation of education is happening very quickly. Since March, most of the schools worldwide needed to switch from in-class learning into hybrid learning. Means that they need to combine the in-class learning with remote learning. I think no one here would ever imagine that the education system can transform so fast into practicing homeschooling. But all of this should make us cautious. We should look into the obvious problems of tomorrow, rather than just the ones we have today. When I am visiting schools for kids with special needs, I really love to share stories with them from real life, showing them how technology can make their lives better, although they might believe that there is no way to make it better. Let me show you a video.
I'm Saqib Sheikh. I lost my sight when I was 7, and shortly after that I went to a school for the blind, and that's where I was introduced to talking computers, and that really opened up a whole new world of opportunities. I joined Microsoft 10 years ago as a software engineer. I love making things which improve people's lives, and one of the things I've always dreamt of since I was at university was this idea of something that could tell you at any moment what's going on around you.
I think it's a man jumping in the air doing a trick on a skateboard.
I teamed up with like-minded engineers to make an app which lets you know who and what is around you. It's based on top of the Microsoft Intelligence APIs, which makes it so much easier to make this kind of thing. The app runs on smartphones, but also on the Pivot Head smart glasses. When you're talking to a bigger group, sometimes you can talk and there's no response, and you think, is everyone listening really well, or are they half asleep? And you never know.
I see two faces, 40-year-old man with a beard looking surprised, 20-year-old woman looking happy.
The app can describe the general age and gender of the people around me and what their emotions are, which is incredible. One of the things that's most useful about the app is the ability to read out text.
Hello, good afternoon. Here's your menu.
Great, thank you. I can use the app on my phone to take a picture of the menu, and it's going to guide me on how to take that correct photo.
Move camera to the bottom right and away from the document.
And then it'll recognize the text. Read me the headings.
I see appetizers, salads, paninis, pizzas, pastas.
Years ago, this was science fiction. I never thought it would be something that you could actually do, but artificial intelligence is improving at an ever faster rate, and I'm really excited to see where we can take this. As engineers, we're always standing on the shoulders of giants, building on top of what went before. And in this case, we've taken years of research from Microsoft Research to pull this off.
I think it's a young girl throwing an orange frisbee in the park.
For me, it's about taking that far-off dream and building it one step at a time. I think this is just the beginning.
The story you just saw is a real story, and the application is existing, and I hope it's making the life easier for many people with sight issues. Now, looking on some research, IDC was conducting a global survey back in 2019, and they were identifying 5 top drivers why to adopt AI in education. And you see, it's all about efficiency, improvement of student engagement. It's about higher competitiveness between the institutions. And I think that will be very key in the future, how to attract students to go on that or the another university. How competitive will the university be? Data. It's all about data. Data is the new oil, and I'm sure you already heard that saying. Technology and AI particularly can only be as good as the data we are having in our hands. I am going to share with you a few customer studies, and they are looking into the school data journey, because you will see that most of the schools, universities, and ministries are often facing the challenge that they have some data, but the data are not in sync, they are not connected, nor updated. It's providing an insight, but not the full insight it could provide. Now, would we have all the insight, we could consolidate and analyze the data, and it would enable us to take decisions and actions. It will help us to understand the full journey from what happened until what we should do next. Let's get practical with some custom examples, how technology can improve the world of education. When the Cleveland Metropolitan School District wanted to change how it delivers education, it looked for a better way how to predict student and school performance. So we worked together to build a cloud-based data visualization and predictive analysis solution. Now the district can monitor and help the children who need it, identify learning barriers, they can act quickly, and they can give every student a better chance. So this is how it can look like. It shows you student by student, how resilient are our students, how are they socializing, are they attending the lessons, are they active? And you will get data, a full spectrum of data for all the students you have around. And with that, it helps the school to help the kids in time with personalized actions. The right devices and applications can save teachers up to 20 to 30% of time spent on other teaching tasks. So in turn, it helps them to focus on student-centered activities, like having one-on-ones, tweaking the lessons plans, or giving real-time feedback. Research shows that when students are receiving one-on-one time, they score higher than 98% of students being approached with traditional tools and curriculums. Let me show you how AI is used in education by City of Helsinki.
Helsinki was the first capital that had a digitalization strategy for education already in 2016. Helsinki is developing education and also AI and learning analytics to make Helsinki the most impactful place for learning in the whole world. In Helsinki, we see the whole city as our learning environment.
In City of Helsinki Education Division, our goal is well learning. Our goal is that all our students will achieve their full potential. Basically, teachers are having 25, maybe 30 students in a classroom, and all the students are individual learners with the individual's needs. And even though our teachers are super ladies and super men, they cannot really personalize or follow each of the students' learning process. So we have to provide some tools by AI to teachers. First, we have identified the pedagogical use cases. Use cases how to support the learning process to individualize the learner, also support the teachers, and also educational leaders. By these use cases, we have been able to define what is the technological cloud architecture of our AI hub. So based on the use cases, we have defined the data pipelines, and what kind of algorithms are needed into Azure. We really emphasize on the ethics of the algorithms, ethics of the AI, because we are dealing with the kids' future and very sensitive data. We don't use learning analytics to stigmatize or classify students. We don't want the learning analytics or AI to build self-fulfilling prophecies. So pretty much the transparent and ethical learning analytics is everything for us. To develop AI and learning analytics is a global opportunity for all of us. It's something we cannot develop in isolation alone. So we need a global community for co-develop, for co-innovate the AI and learning analytics. We need companies like Microsoft, we need other stakeholders like cities and governments to develop the bright future for our kids.
One very important topic raised by the education director in Helsinki was the ethics of AI. We at Microsoft, we are committed to the advancement of AI driven by ethical principles that put people first. It is also our aim to make AI available for everyone. Students have already access to AI-enhanced technology through apps or mobile devices. They are used to work with technology, and it is part of their everyday lives, and it should stay like that. Now, one of the huge innovations of the last years is the ability to transform speech to text, and also to easily translate from one language into the another. In education, this has big power. Let me show you what that means for our kids.
Hi, can you guess where I live?
¿Te encuentras en América del Norte?
Yes. Do you live in central Mexico?
Sí. ¿Te encuentras en Estados Unidos de América?
Yes. Do you live in a capital city?
Sí. ¿Estás cerca de Seattle?
You're very close to Seattle. Are you in Mexico City?
Sí. ¿Estás en Tacoma?
Yes. Very good guess.
Gracias.
Thank you.
Do you like living in Mexico City?
¿Te gusta vivir en la Ciudad de México?
Aquí está muy lindo.
Here is very nice.
What do you do for fun?
¿Qué haces para divertirte?
Voy a las playas de México.
I'm going to the beaches of Mexico.
I like to swim.
Me gusta nadar.
A mí también.
Me too.
Where in the world do you wish to travel?
¿A dónde en el mundo te gustaría viajar?
A Rusia.
To Russia.
¿Y tú?
And you?
Everywhere.
Sería increíble algún día verte en México.
It would be amazing to see you someday in Mexico.
I would really like to visit you sometime.
Me gustaría mucho visitarte algún día.
A mí también.
Me too.
Educators can use AI to create chatbots, which can provide additional support to students outside of school hours and from any device. A student doing their homework can type question into a chatbot, and the chatbot then uses AI to analyze and answer student questions. It can be also used for social and emotional learning too. Now, we don't assume that AI-powered applications are replacing teachers, but they are augmenting and empowering them. At the same time, these applications will reduce the time needed for routine tasks, allowing faculty to focus on teaching and research. This month, on 10 and 11 November, we are running our Global Learning Connection. This 48 hours virtual event is connecting students from all over the world. This year's event was very meaningful, with so many students still learning from their homes. It was incredible to see the resilience of students and educators during these very special times and how they are learning in new ways, powered by technology. Seeing so many students connecting over the world through Teams or Skype, using technology for remote learning, either from their class or their home, was a real highlight. It was super insightful to hear how students have used technology in different ways to make their learning interactive. And many students were sharing PowerPoint presentations with us or other projects built on and based on other technologies. And it was really nice to see all the work. Before I hand over to the next speaker, let me finish with an ask to you as sponsors for our kids. You are being parent yourself or you have parents around you. Let's get active and turn all the possibilities around technology and preparing our kids for tomorrow into reality. Please share with your kids and people around. There is a great opportunity to do it. Let me introduce to you Imagine Cap and Imagine Cap Junior. It's a competition. And during this competition, students are getting together and they are solving world's greatest challenges, creating projects using technology and making the planet better. The 2021 Imagine Cap is where passion meets purpose, and our kids have the chance to bring their ideas to life, which can help and shape the future. Over the past 19 years, more than 2 million of competitors have signed up for our global student technology competition to build something that matters to them, which makes a difference in their communities and innovate for impact. Let our kids to innovate, to reimagine technology solutions for some of the world's biggest challenges. We had projects around mental health care, accessibility, environmental sustainability, and many more. Anything is possible when you blend passion and purpose with an inclusive mindset. Please tell your kids and let's make the world better. Thank you, and I hope to see you soon.
So, Petronela, thank you for your interesting presentation. And we have some questions from our audience. So the first, during the COVID-19 pandemic, many students were forced to switch to online education. This experience wasn't always successful. Do you think AI can completely solve the problems of distance education?
No. An easy answer, it's actually a combination. Technology can never be as good as we are preparing it, right? So it's all about that, how we enable our kids and our teachers with devices, for example, or with skills. Using AI or using technology requires that we prepare our kids and also our teachers with the relevant skills. And I think that's the biggest gap we have today and what we saw over the last months. And that's the requirement from our professors, teachers, that governments are investing into their skills, into upskilling them. And what you actually can also see is that when we are talking to schools and to parents, the biggest challenge is that several teachers within one school are using different platforms. So it's not just the technology, but it's the rules we are defining, and it's also the infrastructure we are providing behind that.
Yes, I agree with you. So, and the second question we have, could you highlight 3 main advantages that AI gives in education?
As I already tried to mention, and that's what you just heard, I think the most important thing is that we can really enable every student everywhere on the planet to learn whatever they like to learn from each device and each place. It's about connecting people, connecting students, and it's what I really think is super important is that you don't need to be in a school or within a class to have assistance. AI can be used from teachers to really provide assistance to students outside the school hours. I think that's very important. And it will be also part of their future working life. So what is important during the school when we look at AI is really to prepare the students for that, what they will use in the future. It's about connecting them, making their life easier. It's about personalized learning assistance, right? Because what I think is what we really need to be cautious about is that we as adults, we can really decide when we learn. Kids cannot, right? We have morning people, we have evening people. And I think this is something where technology can help us in the future. We don't need to be all at the same place, and we can learn then when we like to learn.